Of the march tomorrow, thousands of people will gather on the National Mall to commemorate the 60th anniversary of the historic March on Washington and the work that remains.
And we know that Monday is the actual anniversary, but a big rally and march is planned for tomorrow. 7 News DC Bureau Chief Sam Ford has been covering the anniversary march now for decades. He's joining us live at the Lincoln Memorial. And Sam, you're visiting a family that you talked to 20 years ago.
Yes, indeed, Jonathan, Allison. You know, this march was particularly special 60 years ago because of all the things basically that were accomplished because of the march. And they've been repeating it over and over again. And of course, tomorrow marks the 60th anniversary of the march. And we're going to introduce you to John Wilson, who was a DC teen at the time, who came down to the march with his dad, who had a film camera.
It was a momentous day.
We came to Leisure World in Montgomery County to look back 60 years with John Wilson, age 74 now, but a D.C. Coolidge High School freshman then, who walked to the march with his father and uncle. His father brought his film camera and took these videos of that fascinating day through 14-year-old eyes.
They brought in buses. And Sam, it was more than you could imagine. My mother's family was from upstate New York in the Albany area. And despite all of those people that were down there, we ran into them and they had their buses. There were white people, there were black people, there were people who you could tell were from other countries. I remember Dr. King spoke, and I remember people being mesmerized.
20 years ago, on the 40th anniversary of the march, we talked with John's dad, the late Johnny Wilson, on why he went. The late Mr. Wilson told us that he'd wanted to go south to the protests, but
at the time I had a family and I was working and I couldn't attend matches marches in Alabama and the other places. But when it was coming here, it was my chance that I could get right there with it.
Asked about progress for blacks 40 years later.
You were at the bottom then, and you at the bottom now.
Same question now to the son. Progress 60 years later?
I would like to say yes. Everybody would like to say yes.
But
I am troubled because I thought one time this country was on a path to make things better for everybody. But now it seems like there's a certain strata of people who want to go back. They want to take things back to the way they used to be.
So 60 years later, through the eyes of a teen who was there, the struggle is not over.